For years, my picture of neighbor was Wilson, the guy from Home Improvement who would come and have kind of profound conversations with Tim Toolman Taylor as they talk at their fence. Whenever Jesus talked about neighbor, that would come to mind, that image. But neighbor is really someone at the grocery store. It's someone in church. It's someone in your workplace. And in a way, your family is all like a neighbor to you. There's all these people in your life that you interact with, and God cares about those interactions and what comes of it. There's a verse, Daniel 12, verse 2 and 3, and if you've never read the book of Daniel, it's a wild book, and that really factors into how the Gospels are written in the New Testament and such, so it's worth reading. But Daniel 12:2 says, "And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the sky above, and those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever." This picture that God has of humanity is as eternal, as everlasting beings, as creatures who had a beginning. We were created, but in some sense last forever. And he says, people awaken from the dust of the earth, awake to life or contempt, everlasting. And so C.S. Lewis talks about this, how important your interactions are with your neighbor. Often we think that what's important are politics and nations and cultures and viruses and civilizations and art and different things like that. He says, but those are all just temporary things. The life of a nation or the life of a civilization is actually very small. I mean, minuscule compared to the life of something that will last forever, which is you and me and our neighbors. So what he calls us to do, he says, next to the Blessed Sacrament itself, your neighbor is the holiest object presented to your senses. C.S. Lewis calls us, and I believe he's just echoing the words of Scripture, calls us to see our neighbors, the people around us, the people that God allows to come in contact with us, to see them as everlasting creatures, see them as people who will last forever. And are we helping them along towards everlasting life or towards everlasting contempt? What is the role we play in that? That's really important for me to remember during coronavirus time when we're distancing. Steph spoke about that a couple days ago in her Devo, Pastor Steph, and it's just been hitting me. So I hope you all are able to see with fresh eyes the people that God brings into your life, the people that you interact with. Even if you have to stay distant, remember that their life is extremely profound and important to God, and you can bless them, have fun with them, be good to them, sometimes even when you don't feel like it. So, love you guys.